Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of 92 News. This is Coach K, and today we're doing step 2 of making our sea moss gel. Okay y'all, let's get to it. So our sea moss gel has been sitting for an entire 24 hours, and we are ready. We are so ready to see what it's looking like. Okay, I'm gonna get ready to show y'all. Hold tight, let me dry my hands out. What we're gonna do, the first step is we're gonna go through each piece of the sea moss, and we're going to be actually rinsing it prior to placing it in our smoothie. This step you will need not a smoothie, our gel. You will need a blender so that we can blend it into the gel form. Okay y'all, so let's get going with that. Let me show you what it looks like. Okay, here's my sea moss that I just pulled out of the fridge, and I'm gonna show you what this looks like. Can y'all see that really well? So as you can see, look through the glass. When we first started, the sea moss was really tight. It was kind of shrunken in. You know, forgive the frost in the glass because like I said, it just came out of the fridge. But as you can see, the sea moss is fully expanded, y'all. Can you see how it's looking inside of the glass? Of course, we got our limes in there. And I mean, my gosh, I think this is the most beautiful thing ever. I mean, some people think it looks gross, but I think it looks so beautiful, y'all. I guess I'm like a nerd, but that's how it looks. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take each piece, y'all. We're gonna be checking to make sure that each piece, because like I said, we had this really big piece, and then we had some shorter pieces as well. We're gonna be checking and making sure that each piece is rinsed off thoroughly, and then we're gonna place them into our blender. I'm just gonna place this right here from the blender. You will also need a knife. One second, y'all. Now I'm sitting here saying, hello, can I help you? And they ain't saying nothing. I just love it when people waste my time. Anyway, y'all, look, I'm not gonna waste y'all's. Here we go. We're gonna go ahead, and what we're doing is taking each piece that we've already prepared, that's already been, you know, remember, we already looked through this once, but we need to do another look through to make sure that we have not missed any of the netting or any of the little sea particles, you know, because they be in there sometimes, and we got to make sure that we're not getting any of those in our sea moss that we're going to consume. So let's go ahead and let's take a look. We're just going ahead to examine each piece. And like I said, you know, you just want to look, just double check, make sure that you're not seeing. When you see netting, sometimes netting that it looks wet, it just looks almost kind of like a clear piece of shine, guys. It is so hard to be able to determine some of this netting. Some of it is so paper thin. It's not even paper thin. It's like, it looks like just a very crystallic like piece of shine almost sometimes. So you just want to make sure that you're not getting any of it. Of course, on this piece right here, I don't see any of the netting existing. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and just cut this piece, and we do want to cut it into smaller pieces because as it goes into your blender, the very bottom part of this blender, I'll show y'all. Of course, the bottom of every blender has the blades there. You don't want it to get caught into the blade. So you do want to cut it, and I'm gonna just rinse it one more time and just rinse it off with just room temperature water. We're just rinsing it with room temperature water, examining it as we rinse. And we're just gonna just place it over into the blender. It's as easy as that, easy peasy, okay? Again, double check. Always double check your pieces. Make sure that there is nothing within the little tentacles here, as I called it before, you want to just double check and make sure that they are clear, that there is nothing in between, that there's no netting and no little sea particles in between, okay? And then once you see that it's clear, you're gonna rinse it again, and just rinse it again. And then we're gonna just place it right on into the blender. Now again, this is a larger piece. So we're gonna probably take this a little section at a time. I'm gonna just cut this and see how easy it is to cut. It's not very difficult to cut at all. And so I'm just gonna cut it down into smaller pieces. That is way too long of a piece, and I don't need my blender caught up, so we're just cutting it into smaller pieces. And really, truth be told, you don't even have to cut it, y'all. It kind of breaks. It breaks pretty easily, so. But for the thicker pieces, sometimes you may need a knife to cut it. And we're just cutting these again into the smaller pieces, and then we'll examine. And anything that doesn't look right, again, you want to make sure to remove whatever it is that does not look right. And make sure to discard that. So now that I have my smaller pieces, I'm just going back to re-examine, make sure that everything is clear. And it is. So we're gonna rinse really well. Plop that into the blender. And now that I've demonstrated for you guys, I actually am going to go ahead and get through with all of my pieces and rinsing them and placing them into the blender. Okay, y'all, so this is, I have gotten through putting all of mine into the, into my blender, and this is what she's looking like so far. And we haven't blended it. Again, we've just cut it up and went ahead to drop all of that into the blender. And we've kind of, maybe about right at half. It's not, of course, it's not fully level, but just underneath half of the container. So all we have to do now at this point, now that we've gotten everything, we've got to remember that y'all need to cut the pieces, okay? We've got all of our pieces cut, dropped in. Now what we're gonna do is just add some spring water. And I had to go get some spring water because I ran out. Yes. So this is what I actually found, y'all. This was on sale, not two for buy one get one free. And it's called Eternal Naturally Alkaline Spring Water. According to this, it says that it's from the Smoky Mountains in Tennessee, and the natural pH is 7.8, and it ranges to 8.2, which is very similar to Evian, which y'all know I love some Evian water. And I also love my Mountain Valley water in the glass back there. So hey, let's get this water added in. Now when you're I'm gonna tilt the camera so you can see. When you're adding your water, you do not need to add in tons and tons and tons of water. This whole thing, because remember, it's supposed to be a gel, so it's not the more water that you add, the thinner that it's gonna be. So I kind of like to go wherever it is that the sea moss is kind of stopping. So if my sea moss is here, I'm gonna go just underneath where my sea moss stops. And that way it gives it enough to be like a gel consistency, okay? So can y'all see that? My sea moss kind of stops up here a little bit, and so I went underneath there. And so we're gonna go ahead and get this blended, and we'll be right back.
Still replies in the light. That's where love still lives.
Green light.
Okay, and so I've got my good old mason jar here ready to pour it in, and we've blended. And I'm gonna show y'all what the blender is looking like, and is the inside of the sea moss. And this is what we wind up blending, guys. Y'all see how it has now come into your gel format? All you have is just the sea moss and just some pure spring water, okay, guys? So I'm gonna go ahead and get this poured on over, and let me show you what it's gonna look like as we're pouring it. So this is, see how it just kind of drops in as a gel into the glass. And this should, if you have real and true form of sea moss, it should solidify. It shouldn't be still runny like this once you put it in the fridge, okay, guys? So this is what we're looking like thus far, and I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of this scooped on in there because we don't want to lose any of this goodness. We don't want to lose any of this goodness. We need all of that. And in fact, what I do with the last portion of my sea moss, I go ahead and I'll leave this in here, and sometimes I add a little bit of a corner left in there, and I just add some fruit and fruit water, and also a little bit of hemp milk, and I just blend the last residuals of that right on into a smoothie. But here we go. This is our sea moss gel, and we just need to refrigerate it and enjoy the goodness. All right, y'all. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed that recipe for the part 2 of the sea moss gel. This is again 92 of your body's natural vitamins and nutrients that is offered in the human body. Okay, so get your sea moss on. Okay, have a good day. Bye.
Porque sigues junto a mí, no me mires con mentira, déjame sanar la herida. I deserve a love that wants to stay. Not nobody there, just feels the stay. Somos salir, saying now.